And 95.3 FM HD4. Nooga Outdoors on Nooga Radio. Also on TuneIn Radio. That's an app you can download and get Nooga Outdoors on Nooga Radio anytime. And also Shoutcast and YouTube. We're live streaming on YouTube. Hello, YouTube. And on Facebook as well. Some folks have joined us there. Thanks for joining us on Facebook as well. This is Cindy. I am your co-host here on the Nooga Outdoor Show, and Randy Wharton is here with me to help carry the responsibility of hosting this awesome platform. Yes. Hey, Randy, thanks for sticking with me.
Yeah, great to be here.
And Randy, we have a great guest with us. Christian's going to continue telling us his story. Randy was telling me he's just like this lickety-split, super fast racer that we want to know more about. But first, Randy and I want to plug sponsorship for this platform that I really want this to support organizations like Wild Trails that Randy is the director of. And there's so many. There's Sorba there. You'll know better than me. There's so many nonprofits.
Well, we've got everything.
Exactly.
We got Southeastern Climbers Coalition. I mean, there's a ton of organizations around that are supporting the outdoor venues that we have in Chattanooga. And there's not a city in this country that can compete with us as far as what we have. And we have the world's best. We certainly have more trails. We have more trails than anybody else. We've got phenomenal flatwater paddling. The whitewater paddling is not, I mean, they have the Olympics not far from here. We have, there's not one, but two of probably the best hang gliding and paragliding training facilities and launch areas around, and it's just never ending. We have hundreds of miles of mountain biking. We are soon to be fully connected with the Great Eastern Trail, and Chattanooga is the only city of any major through hike trail that the trail goes right through the middle of the city.
Wow.
So there's a lot of cool things that we've got going on here, and we just think this is a great platform to get more people exposed to what we've got going on. And I think the value proposition for companies is just phenomenal. It's just not a huge expense to get your advertising out here, and I think the advertising dollar is definitely worth it for sure.
Right. And what I come up with in the first segment is for connecting, collaborating, and what was the other? Connecting, collaborating,
3 C's,
and conservation. I don't know, something contributing. That's what I said, contributing, because that's
conservation is a good one.
Yes, yes. So we're it's a great platform for that. So it's a great platform. Your sign can be back here. Businesses that want to support this awesome community initiative to help people get outside and get active and help the nonprofits that support that.
Right.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
And Randy's brought a great guest with him. Again, Randy, I'll let you introduce your guest. He was going to continue telling us he's just wins every race that he's in with you, right?
Christian Thompson, I think it's probably safe to say he's the fastest runner that Chattanooga has seen ever. I mean, we've had some really talented runners, but I mean, what was recently ran a 2:17 marathon?
What does that mean?
Do the math. It's like fast. It's average
16 a mile.
Average is,
oh my goodness.
Close to 5 minutes a mile. So it's beyond anything I think Chattanooga's seen as far as marathon capacity of a talent here in town. And we're just super thrilled to have him here. He's a great, trail ambassador as well, works at Fleet Feet, and is just so passionate about running and health and fitness that is just a great person to have around.
I love it. But tell me, Christian, so how did you start running? What intrigued you with running from the beginning?
My mom always calls it BK. Before kids, she was one of the top female runners in our area. My dad raced dirt bikes professionally, so he would run just to stay in shape, and so it was just always physically active, doing everything. I mean, high school, I snowshoed competitively, cross-country skied, we hiked, downhill skied, mountain bike, road bike, did pretty much everything.
So where are you from?
A small town called Candor, New York. There's no traffic lights, very small town, but it's in the Finger Lakes region.
So it's not a one light town, it's a no light town?
No light town.
Wow. How many people live there?
About I asked Alexa the other day. She said about 5,000 people.
Wow.
That's amazing. That's awesome. So how long have you been here in Chattanooga?
About a year. June will be 2 years.
Oh, wow. So you're like me. I'm from Texas, but I'm Chattanooga by choice, and I love it. And of course, the outdoors is a lot what attracted me
so
here.
why Chattanooga?
Well, my wife she's an optometrist, and she did her residency at Southeast Eye Specialists up by the Hamilton Place Mall. And then she ended up getting a job there. And so we recently just bought a house in Ottawa. So we're pretty much here to stay, and we love it here. It's very similar to where we're from in New York. It's the complete opposite of New York City.
Isn't it? I'm from Dallas and Houston, so I totally get you.
Yeah. So I don't do well with big cities. Yeah, we love Chattanooga just with the outdoors. Just so much to do. Whether you bike, run, climb, paddleboard, triathlon. I mean, if you're active, there's some place for you to do your activity.
Exactly. So, how did you find Wild Trails? How did you get connected with Randy?
Through Fleet Feet. Steve Carr, the owner, he's helped Randy out with a lot of the races. And back home in New York, we had the Finger Lakes Runners Club, and they put a lot of trail races on. I would do those a lot, in the summertime. And I think it's good. I think sometimes we get road runners who will only do races or run on the road, and trail runners who only stay on the trails. And I always like to mix it up, work different muscles. Trails, I think, builds a lot of strength, and roads, you kind of get turnover. So I love doing them. And, there's all the Wild Trails races. There's some that aren't really challenging. There's some that are very challenging. That's
the beauty of it. Yeah. So something for everyone.
Any caliber runner can do any of the races.
So I'm super curious about the whole Olympic experience. So obviously you have to qualify to get into the trials. But tell me, I mean, now that you're in, I mean, what's happened? I mean, is there, what's the step?
I mean, this was kind of, I felt like before I qualified for trials, I had a fairly successful running career. And I felt like there was just that one thing missing. And once I, qualified for the trials at the California International Marathon in Sacramento, it just felt like lifelong pursuit. I finally reached my goal. It just, I don't know if it's completely sunk in yet again, but it's awesome. And now that Chattanooga is one of 4 cities to put in a bid for the Olympic trials, it would be absolutely amazing to compete in my hometown.
Really? That's really, so what is that for the Olympic trials? So what would that entail?
So basically that's where they will pick the men and women's U.S. marathon team to compete at the 2020 Olympics in Japan.
I see that being here. It's just that we're ripe for that kind of opportunity.
The other cities?
Chattanooga, Atlanta, Orlando, and Austin, Texas.
So
how did we get in that list?
That's good.
That's cool. Awesome. Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm really excited, and I think Chattanooga has a lot to offer. I mean, it's big enough city where there's no shortage of hotels or anything, but it's small enough to where that's going to be the only thing going on that day. And I feel like some of the other cities could get kind of lost in the big city. I'm sure they put on good events, but I just feel like
I think there's a very good chance that we get that opportunity.
So what's the next step for you? Is there any races planned before then, or is it just training?
I got training both. I'm somebody who needs something to train for, and 2 years is too long to train for just one thing mentally and physically. So big races, I can do Boston Marathon. My wife, we're actually going to do the Berlin Marathon in Germany in September.
Sweet. Yeah.
But I'm going to do the coming up, the Mercedes half marathon in Birmingham, and I'll do the Chattanooga Marathon as well, and then the Knoxville half before Boston.
Well, we're going to want you to come back and kind of report on your successes.
I'd love to.
I'd love to be able to keep up with that. So your wife is really active too? I mean, I can't imagine that she wouldn't be.
Yeah. We were we grew up same area of New York in high school, and she was kind of the top female runner, and I was kind of the top male runner, but we didn't really talk to each other.
In a town of 1,000 people.
She's from the big metropolis of Binghamton, New York. So I always tease that she never gave me the time of day in high school. So I finally wore her down.
Persistence.
Congratulations.
Persistence pays off. Exactly.
Are you going to run together in Boston?
No.
Okay.
We'll run our own.
Okay.
We run a good amount together. We actually just ran at the biology trails this afternoon.
Yeah, you love it over there?
Yeah, that's my first time over there. So it was nice to just check those out, and I definitely want to run there more often.
It was a little frustrating because I was seeing on Facebook that they had to shut. I don't remember if it was the Bauxite or the biology or which one, but it's one of the biking trails, and they had it closed during rain, and some bikers rode on there anyway. Yep. So they had to keep it closed because they had to go in and fix those ruts, and that was so frustrating. So we want to get the word out. There is a reason, that it's not just because it's messy. Yeah. if they've got the trail closed, it's for the best interest of the riders and the walkers. So be sure
trail maintenance. It takes
respect
a lot
those.
to fix it.
Exactly.
I feel like most people do, but you get occasional.
It only for a bike, it
only
only takes one or two. Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly. But that's the beauty of this platform and social media and getting the word out, so people understand that it's not just there's real good reason for not allowing that to go on. But that is really cool. So what other trails have you been able to check out here?
I mean, I've done. I feel like I've hit most of them. There's probably still some I could.
No way.
I mean, well, not all the trails, but kind of general areas. I've done Enterprise. A lot of the trails I've done is from Wild Trail.
That's what I was wondering.
Like I did the stage race, Chattanooga Mountain Stage Race last year, and Raccoon. That was the only time I've run on Raccoon, and I did
awesome
Signal
area.
Mountain as well. I did the Signal Mountain stage a week and a half before, and that was a big learning experience that day.
Because you didn't bring any water, right?
I brought some, not nearly enough. I brought 18 ounces of water.
I think it's arguably probably the most challenging 20-mile loop you could do anywhere around. It's super technical, not a whole lot of climbing, but it's just hard, technical, really rocky in sections, and so it's slow.
Which trail is this?
So it's a loop that we did. It's the last day of the stage race. We do it on Signal, and there's some of the trails there. Very few people know about them. I mean, the Julie Trail, and the way we kind of get it all connected together. It's just tough. I mean, it's really tough.
And this is an annual race that Trails.
So it's a cool story. My wife and I went and did a couple stage races in Europe. I mean, pretty significant deals. I mean, we did the Swiss Jura. It was a 50K a day for 7 days. And it's just a phenomenal event and just a great experience. And then we also did the Moravian Ultra Marathon in the Czech Republic, which was a marathon a day for 7 days. And so after that experience, that was 2 years in a row. We said, man, Chattanooga needs a stage race. I mean, the only stage race they had in the country right now was this one in Arkansas.
So why is it called a stage?
It's it's three. The one we have is 3 days in a row, roughly 20 miles a day for 3 days.
Okay.
So we said, we'll do it. So we started this stage race, which is, it's been fairly popular. I think we're in the 11th year now. And the cool thing of it is, a lot of my buddies that live in neighboring cities said, man, we want to do a stage race in our town. And since then, there's now one in Huntsville, there's one in Birmingham, there's one in Knoxville, there's one outside of Nashville. So all of our neighboring cities now are doing a stage race. But every single one of those race directors has said, man, we would love to do 20 miles a day for 3 days, but we just can't do it. We don't have the trails. And I mean, heck, we could put together 10 days in a row.
Oh my goodness,
on
easily
20 miles and completely different trails. So this year for the stage race, it's the 3 days, but then we're going to add another 4 days. That's not going to be a race per se, because I don't want to have to deal with all the permits and all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be we're going to handle logistics. It's going to be more of a group run, but 4 additional days. So it'll be 20 miles a day for 7 days if you want to do the extra 4 days. And we could probably put together another 2 or 3 days after that if we wanted to.
That is so awesome.
We just have a super unique city that we can do that kind of stuff.
One of the really cool things that I like to point out about the outdoor culture and getting involved outdoors is both of you guys have mentioned traveling to other countries. Mm-hmm. And that is one of the things I miss about hang gliding. I didn't get to go travel to other countries to hang glide, but wow, did I meet a lot of interesting people who traveled here from other countries. Because that's what happens. It's like you're going to be able to go to other countries. You're going to know people and have places to go where you know people to if it's hang gliding or racing or mountain biking or whatever it is. But because you meet people when you get involved in these kinds of activities, you meet people from all over the world. Yeah. It's just awesome. I love that.
And this is a nice thing, just from speaking of running perspective, is meeting so many different people. And that's how I've learned my way around Chattanooga's running and figure out where to go, and just meet so many different people from different backgrounds and different running. Everyone has their own different story, for running, whether you're fast or slow. I mean, you're out there and doing it, and some people are just sitting on the couch at home. So.
Right. No, I love that. It's whether you're fast or slow, because my thing is I'm not shy. I'm not afraid to show up, the first time someplace. My thing was always my ego, because I didn't want to be the slowest one to start. And that's a lot too, how I like to encourage people is the outdoor culture. They want you to be out there, and they realize the benefit of, sharing the great outdoors. They want you to come. And everybody's been there. Everybody's, had to show up the first time and been the slowest one. And there's nobody's paying attention. They're just glad you're there. So, when I finally recognized that was my ego, I thought, okay, I got to let that go. Show up and be slow a couple of times. It doesn't take long till somebody else shows up. It's a little slower than you and everything's good.
I just don't think anybody cares.
No,
exactly. It just doesn't seem to matter anymore.
Exactly. It was mine. I just didn't want to be last, but it's not like being last. It's about, I didn't want to hold other people up.
So I got one more question for you. In a place like Chattanooga, it's got to be harder than training in a place like Oregon. I mean, where you have a big, like, Olympic focus of Boulder or places in, several cities in California. So here, I mean, you're kind of on your own. You don't have somebody you can train with, because there's nobody in town that can keep up with you doing intervals and stuff. So it's all in your head, right? Or do you have a training partner?
How do you challenge yourself?
I pretty much it's just me. And I ran by myself a lot in high school, so it's not completely new. There's, several training groups that could go at. But I think kind of the mental side of things, you got to be happy where you are. And I love Chattanooga, and I have my page there. It just makes things a lot easier. And there's definitely days where I'm just like, I do not want to do this. Like this, I'd rather.
And you don't have a coach, right?
No, just I coach myself.
Yeah.
And I coach my wife as well. So we'll do runs with each other, which is nice, and it's nice when we're both training together, for the same thing. But it's just, I guess I just kind of push myself, just like. I think it's kind of why I got into running, because it's kind of what I put in is what you're going to get out. It's not necessarily like a team sport where you can bust your butt all summer, but if you're the only one on the team that's working hard, it's still, you don't get the full benefit from it. So running, that's kind of what I enjoy. And I get, it might sound a little sick, but I just enjoy just like that, that after a hard workout and hitting the workout, like it's a great feeling. And, feeling after I it's incredible. It makes all those miles and
wow,
early mornings worth it.
Yes, that's awesome.
Congrats. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Well, you are listening to Nooga Outdoors here on 92.7 FM and 95.3 FM HD4. Randy Morton and I are talking to Christian Thompson, and this has been a great conversation here on Nooga Radio about getting outside and getting outdoors. And we've got a couple minutes left. Oh, we're down to a minute. And I just wanted to kind of plug for sponsorship one more time, Randy. I want to keep this platform.
Yeah.
So we just encourage you to keep tuning in. Tell your friends. If right now we're live streaming on YouTube and on Facebook, encourage people to join in on the live stream every Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Randy and I'll be here. We'll always have a great guest for you. And we want to build this platform and really make an impact here for the outdoor community. We're not familiar with a platform like this in the area. Mm-mm. And we recognize that it's something that's needed, that the outdoor culture is very centric to Chattanooga. And we want to sponsor that and support that and and grow it and share it.
Yeah, I think it's a perfect time. I think we're all realize that we've got a great place to live. That people that are outdoors and try to push more people to get outside. I mean, I think that's what we're all about. So yeah, that's good idea.
We'd love your suggestions as well. So be sure go to wildtrails.org or Cindy at cindyschoice.com and just make suggestions for us. Thanks for joining us. That's a wrap.
Traffic, news,